Welcome to Backyards and Bevvies. Grab your favorite bevy, pull up a chair, and enjoy the ride. Hey, B&B fam. This podcast is sponsored to you by BetterHelp, H-E-L-P. Is there something getting in the way of your happiness? I know when I traveled the world, I had many days where BetterHelp's worldwide service of licensed professional therapists could have helped me speak to someone no matter where I was in the world about whatever was happening in my life, and with zero judgment. With their ability to match me with a therapist that best fits me, I know my mental health would have been way better back then. Believe me, I needed it. But I'm here to share a way for you to take back control of your mental health by telling you about BetterHelp's awesome services they have for you to talk with a pro about your life through their app or just online. Whether it is a video session or some simple messaging, their team is here to help. I went to check out the app for myself just to see how easy it was to use, and after a series of questions, I was told I would be able to start matching with a therapist in under 48 hours. And what is super rad is that it's affordable and they even offer financial aid too. So come join the 2 million users that have already been helped and gain back control of your mental health by visiting betterhelp.com/backyards for 10% off your first month. Remember, BetterHelp is therapy done securely online. Don't forget to use the special code BACKYARDS and let BetterHelp, H-E-L-P, help you to start living a happier life today. Welcome to Backyards and Bevvies.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, your easy listening station.
No, definitely not. But you did have a radio sounding voice just then. Your easy listening station.
You're listening to the oldies and goldies.
Whoa.
Oh, hey.
Can you talk to me to sleep like that? I like that.
Hi,
Yeah.
I'm your host, Phil.
Hello, host Phil.
Today we'll be discussing F1 racing.
Yes, we will. Which I love. It's back.
I know.
Yay!
It is back. And we're not going to discuss F1 racing because
Kind of.
all of our audience has just shut off their speakers.
Well, there might be one F1 fan out there. I don't know. It's getting pretty popular in the United States.
It really is. And the cool thing behind F1 is that it is a world sport. So it's not like it's just this. It's not like the NFL. Not to dog on the NFL, but
They're
NFL
trying to make it a world
is
sport.
a very, niche-y thing. It's the United States mainly, though there are European football leagues. Let's be real. There's soccer is probably the most worldwide watch sport, I would assume.
Probably so, yeah.
Then I would say F1. I don't know. F1 is, they have like 400,000 people go through those gates some
That's
weekends.
crazy. Yeah.
Festivals don't even have that.
No.
So
No, definitely not.
It is a popular sport. To me, the fun part that it's back is the trolling.
Oh, the memes are so
the meme
good.
trolls.
And we only had one race so far. But there have been probably 100 memes that I've seen on Instagram.
And I'm not like one to like trolls on the internet.
Well, I feel like there's a difference between being a troll, that's somebody just being a jerk.
Yeah.
Just because you can't figure out who they are. They're living in their parents' basement, hiding behind a computer screen.
Exactly.
Totally different than a troll who is cracking jokes about things that happened that, some of the drivers, I'm sure, would think was funny.
Let's be real. It's online comedians.
Online comedians.
That's what I look at them. Like there's
it's not being mean for the sake of being mean. It's funny mean.
What they're doing is they're bringing light to situations that anybody should be able to laugh at. Mm-hmm. And I think that is like on the internet, there's trolls, yes. But then there's the comedian trolls who are just taking a subject and going, come on.
Yeah.
Let's have a good chuckle about this.
Well, that's like one of my favorite pages on Instagram is the assistants versus agents page. So for people that work in the music industry or just the entertainment industry in general that have ever been an assistant, it is gold. All of the things that you suffer through as an assistant that you have to laugh at or you're going to jump off a bridge.
And there are some very specific, like if you're an assistant, right? Not everybody's going to follow that page, but everybody who's an assistant in the music business that follows it understands
and has to laugh about all of it.
Because it's a lot of inside jokes, like the ticket requests and the ticket, like last minute, oh, hey, so-and-so is showing up. We need to make a spot for them. And you're like, could have used this info 4 days ago.
Yeah.
I'm on vacation, but thanks.
Great. I'm literally being wheeled into surgery, but I'll figure it
I
out.
remember you telling me not to bug you when you were going to surgery, but yeah, I got you here. And that is the internet, though, and I think that that's some of the brilliance behind what the internet and what like comedy offers people. Because before the internet, you had to go to a nightclub, or you had to go, witness a Richard Pryor or a George Carlin, a type dig at society. Now you can just get online and
it's everywhere
and see a good dig wherever. And I think that some of my favorite moments on the internet are just watching people just be not ridiculous, but
a little over the top.
A little more like I get over the top about an issue, right? And so that's why I wanted to talk today about trolls, like the good trolls on the internet and the fun trolls on the internet.
The funny trolls, yeah, not the mean ones.
Yeah, and you have to be able. Well, I think one thing that stands out right away is the assistant versus what is it?
Versus agents.
A lot of it is they're poking fun at themselves.
Yeah, for 100%.
And that right there alone is if you've never been able to laugh at yourself, then you're never going to be able to laugh at another bigger joke, like as a society or a whole group of people, or for instance, agents.
Yeah, I mean, another great one is agents versus promoters.
Oh god,
it's a great one because it's they talk about like festival billing, which is like, for those of you who are not in the music industry, a festival billing is like where the artist is listed literally on the advertising on like the poster and stuff like that, and going back and forth about like an agent reaching out to a promoter being like, hey, book my act that has never played a show before and never sold a ticket, and then the promoter finally books them and they're like, they should be at the top, like for absolutely no reason, just ridiculous stuff.
Do you remember, and it might have shut down because he might have actually gotten a bass player by now, but Sam Hunt's bass player had an Instagram page for years.
Because there wasn't a bass player?
There wasn't a bass player. It was a little...
it was a joke?
It was
that this is Sam Hunt's bass player even though he doesn't have a bass player?
Well, if you ever look to the side of a drum kit, and nowadays it's way more noticeable because almost every drummer has some sort of pad, and the pad is a trigger to tracks,
sounds and tracks and stuff,
some of it's just ambient stuff. Some of it starts the click track in the ear. Some of it stops the click. They're programmable to the 19th degree, but yeah, Sam Hunt didn't have a bass player forever, and whoever started this in Nashville was
so
just
funny.
Straight genius, and just straight
maybe he started it himself.
If he did,
gold,
because then that's like the true, like,
somebody that can poke fun at themselves is somebody that's very comfortable with themselves,
and before everybody else too.
Yeah,
but it was awesome because it would be like, hey, look at me, I'm like at a festival, and it'd be the shot of the drum pad with the crowd in the background, because
not an actual human, just some electronics.
Let's be real, a lot of the bands that are in Nashville, it's the lead singer and then just anybody can play any instrument behind them. It's a revolving door if they had to.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that there is. I'm saying that
for some,
let's be real. There are bands that interchange guys a lot.
Yes.
It's not like it's not like a Blink-182 where if you miss a member, you're like, hey.
Well, yeah, I mean but
where's that one guy?
If you had to replace them, you could.
It would be hard.
That happen, but it wouldn't be the popular thing.
That's not what my point is that it's usually the lead singer has the title of the band.
Right, that's true.
And behind him,
you don't necessarily know who the other players are.
They're great players.
Yes.
Not taking away from them. What I'm saying is that if push comes to shove,
they're not the brand recognition.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So a lot of bands, it's always funny. If you follow a bunch, there's always like the one guy on stage who always takes the photo of himself.
Of course. Like, hey, I'm in this band.
Like
Don't
hey,
forget.
Like, look at the audience behind me. Good on them. They're excited.
Yeah.
They love what they do.
Yeah.
That's not the point. The point is that the Sam Hunt bass player was just poking fun at that guy.
So funny.
So it is. And when you're able to look at those and then put yourself in those shoes and be like, oh yeah, I've kind of done some of that before. Even better.
Yeah.
So F1 Troll, though, if you are an F1 fan and you don't follow him.
Oh, you've got to follow F1 Troll on Instagram.
He.
Or she. We don't even know.
Yeah, he or she. I mean, let's just call
They are hysterical.
he, she. They definitely are my morning laughter.
Oh my gosh.
And when the
funny.
season's on, because there's already drama, F1 is like a big soap opera. It's like WWE.
It really is. But real.
But real.
Yeah.
But kind of real.
Yeah.
The drama now even, I think, exists even more now that the Netflix show is coming.
Oh my gosh.
So there
Drive
was
to
always-
Survive. We've talked about it, but it's so good.
Yeah, because there's drama.
So much
There's
drama.
always been drama. Well, there's always been drama because you're putting two teammates against each other.
Yeah.
Forever.
Which is crazy.
But then
but so good.
Netflix was like, well, let me write a script about this. And then they really showed the drama because then they're showing you all the stuff that fans have probably been curious about for
but never get to see.
decades.
I mean, even the stuff, like with the team principals and the people that work with them. And I mean, it's just wild.
And you probably hear about, like, if you watch like Sky News or if you're really into it, you probably know some of the drama, but you never get all the dirt because you're just kind of watching it from the news anchor's perspective. Now they're miking these guys up. They're talking shit
All
about
the
each
time.
other. Like, I mean, you're like,
It's so good.
holy cow.
So good.
It is really good. But then add that on top of already a stressful sport. Then add into that now this guy or girl who's on the internet just roasting them.
Yeah.
You're
so great.
and
So great.
and let's be real. Any person who puts himself in the spotlight, you're asking for a little bit of that.
I mean, I wouldn't say you're asking for it, but you have to understand
It's coming
that
with the territory.
It's coming with the territory.
Yeah.
You're not asking for it, but it's definitely part of the job.
But if you wear a trash bag as an outfit, you're asking for it.
Well, that's a different story. But we're going to talk about being a celebrity in general.
But that's my point, though, is that you might not be asking to be trolled, but if you put yourself in a silly situation, you're asking for yourself to be
It's
trolled.
gonna happen. Yeah.
So with the drama, then the cars are clearly there's drama on the track,
For sure.
and then on top of it, then they just have funny little things that they're all
They're so sassy.
they're all quirky little drivers. It's like a bunch of the most confident, conceited,
100%. A lot of personalities clashing.
like giant personalities. They're bigger than bands. I mean, they're bigger than just superstar athletes at times.
It's true.
Probably because they're also highly competitive in the sense that they're going
Extremely competitive.
300 kilometers an hour and taking a turn.
Right. Crazy. Absolutely.
It takes
crazy.
a different brain to do that
It
kind of stuff.
definitely does.
So F1 Troll definitely takes it to a new level, and the laughter inside of his page is I think like I was saying, Sam Hunt's bass player
It's so funny.
used to be one of my favorite pages
Right.
because of the laughter that I could get. Being in the music industry, I was able to really connect with that.
Right. Right.
So I think people should.
What's your favorite F1 troll meme currently? I mean, I know there have been so many good ones, but do you have a current favorite? We're only one race into the season, but there have been so many good ones already because we got to see, in the off season they're working on the cars, and this year is the first year where they had like a ton, like even more changes to regulations than they did last year. So now you've got even more brand new top to bottom cars. So the first race you're really getting to see for the first time what everybody's bringing to the table, whose car looks like who else's car, what were the deals done in the off season, who is using whose engine.
Well, and if you don't not familiar with the sport, the money difference between the top teams and the bottom teams is hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well, it's not as much now.
Well, they
'Cause
capped
remember
it,
they capped it. So
But it
it's
used to
still
be.
a big difference, but it's not as big.
Let's be real.
But it's still a
Ferrari
big difference.
Ferrari and them.
Ferrari and Mercedes and Red Bull have pretty big budgets. And then you got poor Haas.
So let's
But
start.
Haas is looking good.
Let's start with this. Let's just start with memes in general.
Yes.
Some of my favorite memes. All right, just that you could put any words behind them that crack me up.
Uh-huh.
Are the the girl yelling at the cat.
I was literally just thinking of that one. I love that meme.
And the people that generate stuff for that meme are ridiculous and so good at what they do.
I love that one. I literally cannot believe you just said that, because I was thinking of that exact one when those words came out of your mouth.
It is priceless. I like the one where they're always like, the guy is rolled over sleeping and the girl's staring at him and she's like, I bet he's thinking about this, and it's like always something else.
Dreaming about like food or something.
Yeah, something else. The guy with the yellow coat on and he's like behind the tree, like
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's a black guy in like a bright yellow jacket and he's like looking around a tree like
I'll have to find that one.
That one's a good one. And then the one where the girl is pulling the boyfriend, but the boyfriend's
looking at another
back.
girl. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's another classic.
Memes are great. Oh, and the last one is I think the other top one is well, there's two more. The car one, the dude sweating and he doesn't know which button to push.
Oh yeah.
That one's always a classic.
Always.
And then the which will lead me into my favorite F1 troll meme. Mm-hmm. You and the guy the guy you should be terrified about, or whatever.
It's you versus the guy she tells you not to worry about.
Exactly. I love it. That one is, because it's always compared. Like every guy can put themselves in that position. You're just like, oh, there has to be someone better than me. Dang it!
And what's the F1 troll meme look like? If you can describe it for our listeners.
Because most of them is like the Jason Momoa.
Mm-hmm.
He's all like buff, and then like it shows like the little dude next to him or something.
Scrawny, nerdy dude, yeah.
So this one is a photo of, so they have what's the pit wall, and then they have all the race principles, right? You know this because you watch it, but for our listeners, there's a wall that's on the front takeoff, and finish line area, and the principals sit in this little box and they have screens and data and radios and they have all the things they need in front of them. And when you watch it on a race, you're not really seeing the size of them. You're just seeing all the guys kind of bunched together talking and
into their little headsets,
talking their headsets. And honestly, I never really paid attention to it, but you always see about 3 people, so you just assume there's 3 people in all of them. And so the one that I love is Haas, which is the American team, the only American team,
right?
And their budget's small, so their box though is 3 people.
It's 3 seats.
3 seats, and so that would be you, and then the guy that you're worried about,
that she tells you not to worry about.
Yeah, you're not that. Yeah, that one. Is Red Bull, and there's like 7 or 8 seats in there.
Like
it's just
4 times the size of the other box. So good.
And and Haas though, what makes it brilliant is that when you listen to them on the show, they know.
Right.
They know who they are.
Of course.
They know
that they're competing for the midfield.
Yeah, Gunther.
They're not competing for the world championship like Red Bull is.
Sometimes
One
they're
day,
even competing for the back, you know? But they know that they're there, they show up, they race, they put forth the best effort they can, and they have fun with it. And I think one of the greatest characters on that show is Gunther.
I love him so much.
And he's a great inspiration to anyone who is in that middle seat, that is trying to show up every day, that is hoping to get that seat at the table. He's made it to the table. He's not at the head of the table, but he's really trying to get there, and you know that he wants it. It's not like he's showing up and he's like, all right, guys, let's go get that number 7 today. He's doing his
best with what he's got.
He's like, come on, guys,
we can do this. Let's get in the points.
Let's not hit the wall today.
Oh, Gunther.
And I'm always so positive. I'm trying to be so positive on in life in general. And on this show, I'm really trying to show people, look, again, we've said this, like, we're not looking for your money for us to coach you or, like, that's not what we want. What we want to do is deliver a great book to you. Yes. So, yeah, like, we would like for you to pay $29.99 one day. We'll sign your copy, maybe $50.
Yes.
But we're not asking for this monthly subscription to give you ideas. We're just out here giving you ideas. And though we watch F1 because we enjoy F1, there's so many good values inside of it as well. And Gunther's character is a great example of someone who is sure, race and cutthroat and all the things, like, he wants to win. He has that value in him.
Right.
But he's a great guy.
Great guy.
I mean, he's
hysterical.
He laughs at himself.
He's so snarky. I love it.
Yeah.
But he's so nice.
And that's why I think that this whole episode dedicated to being able to laugh at yourself is so priceless in life, just in general, because you have to. You have to wake up some days and just everything is going wrong.
Yep.
And you can't blame it on the world. It just
is what it is.
You can show up every day. This guy shows up every other weekend to an F1 race.
Mm-hmm.
And just...
a lot of times his team just implodes.
Struggles. Yeah. And you watch it and we watch it and you're like, okay, they have it together. They made it through the first pit. Nope, they didn't make it through the first pit.
Just kidding.
Oh, they didn't make it through this. Hey, we started 10th. 17th.
Yep.
And that sometimes how it goes.
Sometimes.
But looking at what F1 Troll does is I think whatever they are trying to accomplish, they're trying to bring laughter to a very stressful sport.
100%.
On top of that.
100%.
Like it'd be one thing if they were just being vulgar and mean and
right.
Because there's people.
Well, they're not trying to damage the reputation or be insulting to the drivers. They're literally basically saying what everybody is thinking in a funny way.
Even the drivers, I bet, are thinking it at times.
I'm sure.
Because you can just see their faces after a bad race or a bad performance.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the different, because I'm on a lot of different social medias, and one of the things I've noticed is, though I do like Twitter has very instantaneous results. Like if you're looking for something, you can get weather updates, you can get traffic updates, you can get news updates.
Yeah, it's the up to the minute.
It has good stuff. But the thing that Twitter has is, and I heard Gary Vee explain this one time in a really cool way, which makes me appreciate Twitter, but it definitely is a pit.
Yes.
It is a dark, deep pit that you can get drug into.
Yeah,
and you can argue with people who have zero relevance to your life.
Mm-hmm.
But what it is Gary Vee explained this in a really cool way. Back in the day before we had social media, we had talk radio or news channels. Mm-hmm. And you'd be watching these commentators or you'd be watching someone on TV and they would say something in the sense of like, oh, well, let's just take your favorite football team, Carolina Panthers, right? And you're a big fan of them. And then here comes this guy on the news or the radio and he's like, man, they just suck. And you're like, you know what? F you.
Right. You don't know what you're talking about.
Because all you have is the ability to yell at
the TV. And they
or
never
your radio.
hear it.
Yeah, they never hear it. Now with Twitter,
different story.
You have the ability to
interact with them, with people you don't know.
Yeah, you can direct tweet the president of the United States if you want to. Think about that. Well, now it's not probably him, but his team running his site.
Right.
And that's pretty wild to think about. And so he explained it in the sense, now what you think you can literally type and get a response if that person so chooses to, and you, which then can turn into either good or bad
or really bad. Yeah.
And so I think that the term troll can really apply to Twitter more than it can Instagram. Though there are like in the comments of there's always like a troll in the comments of some of these bigger pages, but for the most part I think Instagram's a fun place.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just depends on.
Well, I mean, on
the comments. That's why you disable the comments on a lot of things.
I also heard a really cool way to think about social media, especially if someone's looking to start to try to build their online presence or their fame or however you want to call it. This guy Jack Carr I was listening to him talk about his book, and he, much like myself, had a career prior to writing his first book. And then his first book took off and really he sold a lot. Now he's like on his 5th book now.
Wow.
I mean, he's doing a great, he's amazing. Has a Netflix show out of it, all this stuff.
Cool.
But he explained it in a really cool light that his account is like the corner store in a small town. Anyone's welcome in. You're always welcome. Come on in. But you have to be, to a certain extent, respectable. You know what I mean? Like he's willing to have the comments, he's willing to have the conversations, he's willing to say hi, but at a certain point if you're just in his store just being rude and
Yeah,
obnoxious,
you literally never have anything nice to say.
hey, the roads, you're, what you're looking for is
Go
down
the
road.
street somewhere
I'm
else.
not here.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really cool way to think about it because, yeah, in a world of so much online presence nowadays where people are trying to do new things. I mean, let's be real. Like, I've watched one of my friends start up a really great makeup company on her site, and she's doing great. But it doesn't come without someone somewhere making a comment. You know that's going to happen.
For sure.
Someone very close to us does art. You know, like there's just a multitude of different takes of what your social media should look like, but it's yours.
Right.
And I think that's where, if you're going to engage with someone that is a troll, you just have to be cautious. Or if they're having fun with you, don't take every comment.
Yeah, don't get super offended.
Don't take every comment to the T. You know, there is the people that it's hard to see a smile or emotion through text.
Absolutely.
And some people just don't know how to verbalize what they want via their fingers.
Yeah, 100%.
So you have to be willing to also take comments with a grain of salt.
Right.
Because
You're
it is.
Well, did you mean it like this or did you mean it like this?
Because it is, remember, the newest form of us being able to yell at the radio.
Yes, absolutely. It's a very good way to think about it.
So Gary Vee, thank you for that one. I think that was a very enlightening way to think of, especially Twitter.
Yes.
Instagram, Instagram's fun.
Mostly.
So I think that this was this is definitely going to be a shorter episode because we can only talk about trolls for so long. I did think that it was something worth like looking at in a laughter way, and then looking at like, oh, you know what? Trolls can be a good thing on the internet.
For sure.
Like, we need comedy in life.
Yes.
Like, we can't. I think one thing that we should never do is censor comedy. I think that each person has a different take on what is funny as well. Like, my sense of humor might be darker than your sense of humor.
True.
Doesn't mean that we now have to silence this comedian. Just means that you just don't go to his show.
It's not my brand of comedy.
Don't buy his ticket. Don't, and I think that, and clearly I'm a fan of like Joe Rogan's and stuff like this. So, I mean, it's, I don't even know if I really have actually ever listened to too much of his stand-up. Not because I don't want to. I'm not a giant comedy fan. I like short blips of comedy. So for me, I'm not like a giant comedy special kind of person. But he's building almost like you can't cancel these comedians like place to go in Austin.
Oh, that's cool.
So like I think Roseanne Barr is going to go do a show there and stuff like that. I saw a very, very small thing, and since I'm not a giant comedian fan, I don't really pay that much attention. But I do think that
it's an interesting idea though.
But hearing him talk about comedy all the time on his show, it makes me think of all the other things that people are doing, and it is that exactly thing though. If you don't like something, you don't have to go and laugh at it.
Yeah, no, not
you don't
at
have
all.
to be a part of it.
Not at all.
And that's the beauty behind it all. And so, someone like a troll that runs one of these pages,
you don't have to follow.
There's a high chance that it's going to make you mad too, because it is pushing the buttons. It's supposed to,
right?
It's supposed to, kind of aggravate.
Take it to that next level, yeah.
Especially if you're like, like the Sam Hunt one.
Yeah.
If you're a band member, if you are a band that has a little black box that is your bass player, you're probably gonna take a lot of offense to what he's saying.
Might take some heat
because you're like,
true.
That's our band right now.
Yep.
But I guess the moral of this podcast is enjoy it. Enjoy the laughter behind.
Learn to laugh at yourself.
I laugh at myself all the time.
Same.
I am ridiculous.
I laugh at you all the time.
You do laugh at me all the time. You have a good laugh at me at least once a day.
Yes. And likewise, you have a good laugh at me at least once a day.
I definitely roll my eyes at least once a day.
Rude.
Or maybe I like up my eyebrows. Who has a more expressive face, me or you?
I think me. Maybe both. Maybe it's a tie. I have more wrinkles from being so expressive.
Does that come from being an agent? I mean, a manager? Well, you were an agent for a little while.
I was for a hot minute. I think it comes from having a big forehead. And being expressive. I don't think it has anything to do with the job. I think I've literally like had all of those things for forever.
Interesting.
Yes.
I would say that I wish I had eyebrows that did more at times. Like,
you're doing a lot right now. I don't know if people can see on video, but they're doing a lot of things.
I think over the years, since I've started to smile more, I've actually been able to create different looks that I like when I know that I'm trying to like be expressive facially only, like with my facial expression only, as opposed to words.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Smiling's way better than frowning.
Yeah, it is. It truly is.
It is.
I like to smile.
I'm so glad.
My heart's getting bigger. My smile's getting bigger. I've actually acquired like
Some
two
smile lines.
Like they're not dimples, but they kind of
little smile
appear
lines.
to be if I smile hard enough.
I like it.
Yeah, need to work on my bottom teeth. They're a little.
They're great.
They're a little crooked.
They're great.
Years of chomping. Actually, I have pretty straight teeth for no braces.
You do. I've said that before.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, we'll stop talking about my teeth on this show. I'm sure everyone's like, where the hell are they going?
They're like, all right, I thought it was going to end, and then they start talking about teeth. What's happening? All right. On that note.
On that note, if you're not an F1 fan and you've made it this far in the podcast, I highly suggest you go become one.
I agree. It's so good.
The sport is only growing in America. It's already a worldwide sport,
everywhere.
so it's not like I have to tell anyone overseas to watch it. But it is a pretty crazy sport.
It's so fun.
I really
so much fun to watch.
Look forward to going to see it in Vegas.
Hopefully, yeah.
Oh, it's happening.
We're going to do our best.
I'm putting it out there.
Putting it out there.
Manifesting many things in life, and one of them is to go watch.
Love it.
Did you hear? Oh, and just because we're here, I'll forget about this. Did you potentially hear that Lewis Hamilton's contract's up? He may go to Ferrari.
No.
He would, is what the rumors are. Lewis Hamilton could go to Ferrari.
I don't envision that happening.
Championship number 8.
I don't envision that happening.
I know. I like my Spaniard and my Moroccan.
Yeah, I don't know how you pronounce it. I guess.
He's from Morocco.
Yeah.
Right? Charles.
Yeah, I can't remember how.
He's such a stud.
He is. He's awesome.
I'm totally cool.
I can't imagine Lewis being anywhere but Mercedes. I don't think Toto will let that happen. But Toto better get that car figured out. Toto.
You're...
Stop. Stop already.
Your hall pass.
No, he is not my hall pass. Poor Toto.
Poor Toto.
Feels like he's aged 100 years the past 2 seasons.
Yeah,
he's had a rough go.
Find a good stress outlet. That's all I can say.
100%.
All right, y'all.
All right. Have a wonderful day.
Cheers. Thanks for letting us ramble on there at the end, but
cheers.
Enjoy life.
Bottoms up.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Here's to the cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.